Welcome back to Stamping at the Warren, and I'm Kim Tolton. Now today I am showing you some new products that are coming or are in the new Spring Summer Seasonal Catalogue from Stampin' Up. I'm not actually doing a finished card today. I will be using the products to make a card later on this week. But today I wanted to show you the techniques behind creating the card I will be sharing. Now, one of the stamp sets that Stampin' Up has brought out this year is this one called Blooming Love. Obviously very much Valentine's orientated, but can also be used for friend, and it's in the air, and it's just a really pretty stamp set. And there is this really lovely intricate heart down here amongst some little flowers. And there is a die set that goes with it, and it's that die pack that has led to today's tutorial, because there's some new products to help you get some fab intricate die cuts. Now the die that I'm using is called Blooming Hearts, and they're Thinlits dies, and in there you have this incredibly intricate heart plus two slightly smaller flowers, and I'm going to show you with this heart. Now hopefully it all goes okay. My Big Shot is quite old, it's getting a little bit loose around the edges, so when I use this I'm having to use additional shims. If you've got a very new Big Shot that's still quite tight, then you may well find that you don't need any shims at all. Now a shim, you can buy ready-made shims, and I'm using those today because I've got them left over from my texture boutique. But it can also be just some cardstock, 1 or 2 layers of cardstock. In some cases it's just a piece of vellum, it just needs to be very, very thin, and all it's doing is giving you additional layers to increase the pressure, which then increases the surface pressure of the die cut, so you're more likely to get a complete die cut. And the bits that generally tend to be a problem are the bits most in the centre, and also the bits around the periphery. So where it's particularly intricate, those bits have been, you know, quite tricky in the past. The other thing is, the old-fashioned way was to sit with your piercing tool, and literally by hand each section you would be popping out your additional bits, the bits that you would like to just drop away if you could. And that puts some people off of using intricate dies. Well, Stampin' Up has come up with a solution. Now if you are familiar with the Christmas seasonal catalogue that we had, you would have seen the precision plate, which is a brand new Big Shot plate that came in, and it's a steel plate as opposed to acrylic or foam, and what that means is you get a much more even pressure. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be showing you, but you know, only part of it. The other part is this, and this is the new Big Shot brush, and it's a brush that rotates. It's basically like a bottle brush, but not graduated, so it's a rotary bottle brush really. So what it does is it allows you, once you've done your die cut, to turn it over, and then you can just brush it over the surface, and the aim is that all the bits and pieces come out. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So first of all, this is the finished die cut, so you can see it there, and that's going to make something really special. That would be lovely as a topper on a gift box. It would also be beautiful as a tag. You know, you could use it for so many different things, for weddings and, you know, box your uncle really. Right, so the important part is the sandwich that we use for the Big Shot. So you can't really use the magnetic platform. I've tried. It just doesn't create, even with shims, it does not create sufficient pressure to get really nice, good, clean cuts. So you want your multi-purpose platform that came with your Big Shot, and you want it on tab 2, so there's no tabs open at all. On top of that, you are going to put your cardstock. So that goes down next. No, it doesn't. I'm telling fibs. You want one of the acrylic cutting plates to go down first. If you've got one that's a bit warped, go for it on the bowed side, because as it goes through the Big Shot, it will create a bit more tension. It's a bit more arm work to get it through, but it does work. So the next is your cardstock. Then you want a piece of wax paper, just food grade wax paper. You can buy it in big rolls, or you can buy it, you know, just little wax sandwich bags and use those. Depends on how much you're going to use them. Then on top of that, with the cutting blades down, you then want to put your die, making sure that you've got it all within, so there's wax paper covering everything. So that goes in next. Then on goes your shims, and these are the shims that I'm using. But you could just as equally use cardstock, which is what I've been using earlier today, and then I remembered I had these and I thought, oh, I'll give those a go. So I've got 2 shims. That would be 2 pieces of cardstock, possibly 3 depending on, you know, how used your Big Shot is. And then with the precision plate, you don't want to be able to see the writing, so you want to turn it over so that the metal side is face up, the black side. Now you will see that I got it wrong when I first started using it because I didn't bother reading the instructions, so I've actually got score marks where I put it through. I only made the mistake once, then I went back and read the instructions. There you go. So that's your sandwich. I will make sure it's all typed up on my blog for you as well, so you can actually jog down everything. So I'm just going to move my Big Shot in. Wiggle myself back a bit. Now ideally what you want is for the precision plate to just be forward a little bit compared to the rest. That will allow it to enter the Big Shot quite easily, and you can then give it a push, through it goes. Now you want to put this backwards and forwards 4, possibly 5 times, just to make sure that everything has been really nicely cut, but you're going to check it before you remove the die anyway. I'm going to go backwards and forwards once more. Obviously the newer your Big Shot is, the less you actually have to do this. Right, so if you've got a nice new Big Shot, you could, after just 1 or 2 turns, you could open up your sandwich and see if it's all been cut through. So remove the precision plate, remove your shims, then very carefully lift up the cardstock, popping your hand underneath and holding that die in place, and then you can have a look. I can probably zoom in a bit for you. Right, sorry about that. I managed to dislodge my memory where I went to try and zoom things in. Right, so let's move that there, and hopefully we can zoom in. Right, there you go. You see that? So you can actually see the outline there of the die cut, and you can, if I zoom in even more, you can probably see just how much detail you can see. Now if you can't see that detail on the back, the chances are you haven't got that fully cut. and you just need to go back and pop it through your big shot a little bit more. So I've just taken you, zoomed you back out again. So once you're happy that you've got everything cut, you can then peel off the wax paper, excess wax paper and cardstock, and then very gently give your die just a bit of a whack, and that will start to loosen up some bits, and it will make it much easier to remove the die cut from the die. And you'll also find that the wax paper lifts as well, so you can just peel the wax paper up. If you can't get all of, you can give another bang to see if all these little bits come out of the die. If they don't, just pop your piercing tool, paper piercing tool inside, give them a flip, and they'll all come out. And then that's it, ready for next time. Now you might need your paper piercing tool in a moment, but I'm going to try and do this with you, showing that you don't need it. So the first thing I do is to actually, on the back, give a bit of a whack, and this will remove most of the larger pieces from your die cut. Okay, you can see already there's a load have gone. Then you bring in your foam pad that comes with the Big Shot brush, turn it over so it's face down, and then a little bit at a time just use the brush, and what you will find is bits of cardstock start pinging out at you all over the place. Be fairly gentle, you don't want to be too harsh, otherwise the cardstock ends up very fragile and then that won't do. Some of the really tiny pieces you do have to give a little bit of a hand by itself just to pop it out, purely because it can damage the card. So I'm just taking out anything that's just left loose. And look how simple and quick was that. Now that would have taken me maybe 15 minutes per die cut to have sat and popped out all of those bits, and I've done it in what, less than a minute. So that is today, really quick and simple, but I just wanted to show you so that you weren't put off ordering one of these dies, this die set, because it is a beautiful die set. If you love making things for Valentine's and for weddings and for anybody that you love and care about, then I'm sure that this is going to be a big hit for you. As I say, I'll put the full tutorial onto my blog as well at www.stampingatthewarren.blogspot.co.uk. If you have any questions, whether it's about the shims, whether you're not getting a clean cut and you just want some advice once you've ordered it, then please leave a message either in the comments section below this video on my blog, or if you want to keep it private, then just send me a message via my email at kim.tolton@googlemail.com, and all the details are on my blog anyway. You'll see all of my social media sites are listed in the show more section below today's blog. You know, I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching today. Ta-ta for now.